premier telecast of the North American Soccer League. And immediately following at 5 o'clock Eastern and Pacific, 4 o'clock Central Time, you'll see a special expanded version of ABC's Wide World of Sports. Weather permitting, you'll see a high-speed battle for the Florida as ABC proudly presents the North American Soccer League.
This was Soccer Bowl 78, the championship game of the North American Soccer League. A crowd of more than 75,000 filled the great stadium in the Meadowlands of New Jersey to watch the defending champion New York Cosmos take on the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Cosmos versus Rowdies has become the first great rivalry of the North American League. Whether they meet in the Meadowlands or in Tampa, fans turn out in tremendous numbers to watch two fine teams in one of the year's big games. The Rowdies star, Rodney Marsh, didn't play that day, but he will be in the lineup this afternoon in Tampa as the Cosmos and Rowdies meet for the first time in 1979. In Soccer Bowl 78, it was the Cosmos winning. Dennis Stewart, number 7, led them to victory. These all-stars gathered from around the world. Could today's game be a preview of Soccer Bowl 79? It certainly could. Coverage of the North American Soccer League. Just a few years ago, this scene would have strained the imagination. Some 45,000 people gathered in Tampa Stadium on a hot, muggy Florida afternoon to watch a soccer game between the Tampa Bay Rowdies and the champion New York Cosmos. But this scene is real and now and live, and the enthusiasm is something we think that you'll find catching. The Cosmos lead the Eastern Division of the National Conference. They're the most feared team in American soccer. Tampa Bay also leads its division, but they're the underdogs in their home field today. Now, there's downtown Tampa in back of us, a fast-growing city by the Gulf of Mexico that has taken this soccer team to its heart, has really made it a rallying point during the long, hot Florida summer. Good afternoon, I'm Jim McKay. You to our coverage of the North American Soccer League. How involved is ABC in soccer? Deeply involved and deeply committed, because we're here with our 9 cameras, our slow-motion replay machines, with our full complement of personnel and equipment. Everything we bring to a major sporting event, which we consider this to be. What are you going to be seeing? Well, it is the North American League. There are 24 cities in all, from coast to coast, 3 teams in Canada this year. And the players, well, they're remarkable players. Some of them are among the best in the world. World Cup stars brought from many countries. We're going to be showing you this summer 9 games, 5 regular season, 3 playoff games leading to the 4th and final playoff game, Soccer Bowl 79, which, of course, is for the championship of the league. Now, if you haven't seen soccer ever before, please don't be afraid. Take my word for it. It's one of the simplest games in the world, and we're going to explain it to you as we go along in very basic and simple terms. Now, I'd like to introduce you to our expert commentator, whom we feel is uniquely qualified for the job, which is particularly important in the game of soccer. He was born and raised in England, learned the game, and watched it at the highest level over there. But he's been a resident of the United States for some 20 years, and so he's seen the growth of the North American League from day one. He has followed it, has written about it, has written a couple of books on soccer in this country, many magazine and newspaper articles. Currently, he's the editor, in fact, of Soccer Express. That would be Paul Gardner. Great to have you with us, Paul. Welcome to ABC.
Jim, delighted to be here. And I'm thinking, you know, this is the 4th of these games I've been to, Tampa, New York. And so I think we can expect a lot of excitement this afternoon.
How about a quick look at some of the Cosmos?
Chinaglia, I think he's the goal scorer, and I think you have to watch him in the penalty area. That's his territory. He scents goal, and he can put the ball in the net from almost any angle there. Going straight to the defense, Carlos Alberto, a Brazilian who says he's 34. Some people think he might be a bit older. I think 34 is about right. Such an experienced man, though, so cool, such a delight to watch. In midfield, linking the defense and the attack, we have a tall Yugoslav, Vladislav Bogicevic. Don't worry about the name. We'll be calling him Bogi. That's his nickname. A commanding figure this year, a wonderfully cultured left foot.
Quick look at the Cosmos. How about the home team, the Rowdies?
Tampa Bay Rowdies starting up front again. Rodney Marsh, irrepressible, plays with a marvelous sense of joy, and of course he's got a terrific repertoire of ball skills and tricks, and he can score goals. Going for the defense again, a young man, 22-year-old Mike Connell. He's from South Africa, and although he's only 22, he's got a lot of experience behind him, a hard, aggressive player. Midfield, linking these two, another young man, even younger in fact, Wes McLeod, 21, an American, or North American I should say. He's a Canadian in fact, and I think he's the best North American player I've seen in this league.
Okay, a quick look at the 2 teams, or at least of the stars of the 2 teams. By the way, we should mention that the Cosmos are missing 2 important people today. Franz Beckenbauer, the man they call the Kaiser, one of the finest players in the world, is out with an injury. And then Mourinho, the fine Brazilian player who was acquired just this year, is not here. That's kind of a controversial story, which we'll be discussing in much more detail as we go along. That then is the story as of now. We're live, we're in Tampa, and we'll be back. Members of our this year one whom you'll be meeting at halftime and whom you'll be seeing on a regular basis giving instructional material to young players, is the most famous name in the history of the sport, the incomparable Pelé. We'll meet him at halftime live today, by the way. Down on the field at this game and all the games this year will be a man I think you've seen on ABC Sports before. Regional college football, some pro bowlers. But more important than that, for this sport, I think he's been the radio voice of the Dallas Tornado for the past 2 years. That would be our friend Vern Lundquist. Vern?
Thank you, Jim, and needless to say, I share your joy at our involvement in this sport, and we think great things are going to happen. My role here will be hopefully to add an extra dimension to your enjoyment of the game of soccer, quite obviously inviting you to know what's going on in terms of injuries here, but also perhaps to keep you abreast of those sometimes imperceptible changes in strategy that occur during a game. We'll do that by talking with coaches as the afternoon progresses. And we have one of those coaches with us right now, Eddie Permani, the head coach of the Cosmos. He coaches a team of superstars, but it is also a team of controversy. And Eddie, you've got controversy right now. You have a world-class Brazilian named Mourinho, who did not make the trip. Reportedly, he missed the airplane yesterday. Reportedly, he is also injured. Why is he not here?
Well, I think the truth of the matter is there was a little bit of confusion yesterday into travel arrangements. But the real reason for Mourinho not being here today is that he reported yesterday for training, and he reported with a slightly pulled muscle. And if a player is slightly injured, we do not take a chance on playing him and ruining the player's career, maybe.
Nonetheless, you expected him to make the flight down, did you not?
We expect him to be there in the morning to have a test to see whether he was really fit to come with us.
Okay, Eddie, good luck to you today. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Eddie Permani, the head coach of the Cosmos and the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Live from Tampa Stadium in Tampa, Florida, as ABC presents the North American Soccer League.
It's just about kickoff time in Tampa, Florida. Game, New York Cosmos versus the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Let's take a look then quickly at the starting lineups. First, the league champions, the Cosmos of New York. First of all, their goalie, Errol Yassin, having a fine season so far. He's from Turkey. On the defense, Bobby Smith, an American from Trenton, New Jersey. Wim Rijsbergen, acquired this year from Holland, number 15. Number 5, the great Carlos Alberto from Brazil. All these men defenders. Another American, 25, Santiago Formosa. In the midfield, number 14, Terry Garbutt. He's replacing the controversial Mourinho. Then Bogi, they call him Vladislav Bogicevic. An American again. 17 is Ricky Davis, young and talented. Number 7, a fine player, Tennis Stewart. Then Giorgio Chinaglia, perhaps the most famous name in the sport in America at the moment. Senino is from Portugal. The other forward for the New York Cosmos. There's some of the excitement, and let's have a look at the Rowdies starting lineup now. Their goalkeeper, acquired this year from Toronto, used to have a habit of beating them, Bilecki. Manny Andrzejewski has just arrived from England this week. Mike Africa, another defender. Arsène Auguste, a veteran from Haiti. Then we have number 3, John Gorman. He is a Scottish defender. In the midfield, Peter Barovic, acquired this year from Yugoslavia. They're from all over the world. Number 5, Jan van der Veen, is a Dutchman. Number 8, Wes McLeod from Canada. A lot about him. And on the forward line, 7, Steve Wegerle from South Africa. Number 20, Oscar Fabiani, an Argentine. And the star of the team, number 10, Rodney Marsh at midfield. They're playing forward today. Okay, here we go. It's just about kickoff time. Remember, 11 men to a side. We're starting with the basics. It'll be Tampa going from left to right. The Cosmos going from right to left in the darker uniforms. These are the Rowdies in the white with the green and gold. There's green and gold colors everywhere in the stands, too. Anybody can score in this game. It'll be 45 minutes in each half. No timeouts are allowed except for injuries, and the referee will be the judge of that. That means we'll be taking our commercials when we can and trying not to miss any of the play. If we do, we'll have everything on tape, and you'll see it. You'll see everything of significance at one time or another. Okay, now, Rowdies with the ball, the opening minutes of feeling out that almost always happens. Nobody really with possession so far. Arsène Auguste now with the ball, number 4. We would not expect these two teams to take too long about it, though, would we? Well, that was Wegerle almost getting in, but Carlos Alberto with the save. Cosmos now will have possession. Errol Yassin on the ball. The goalkeeper for the Cosmos. So, Paul, what kind of a game do you look for as far as the tempo of it is concerned?
I would think it's in Tampa's interest to open this game at as fast a tempo as possible. Their coach, Gordon Jago, another Englishman, incidentally, has told me that they've been playing brilliantly here in patches and with this tremendous crowd behind them.
Okay, there's a shot nowhere near the goal. So So the ball will be put back into play. It'll be a corner kick for the Cosmos. Now, this is a key offensive play. Whenever the defensive team puts the ball over the end line, a corner kick like this is awarded to the offensive team. There's the first rule you can learn if you're just beginning with the sport. They decided not to loop it into the center, as they often did, but just moved it out to Ricky Davis, number 17. He gets it in the middle now, however. And a shot by Dennis Stewart was tapped up and over the goal by Bilecki very efficiently. But again, it's going to be a corner kick for the New York Cosmos. Cosmos on the attack, no score in the opening minutes of the game, a very important North American Soccer League game between the Cosmos and the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Dennis Stewart taking the corner kick for New York to Ricky Davis, the American, and the shot hauled down once again by Bilecki. Now Tampa will see if they can get the tempo of their game going. It's very much a game of tempo and of pace. Out of bounds, or as they call it officially in soccer, into touch. The team that did not knock it out gets to throw it in. And here we have Tampa on the move. Oscar Fabiani. Peter Barlich, number 15, had it last. And let's see what the call is. It's going to be Cosmos throw-in, it appears. Unless it's going to be a free kick. Let's see. It's going to be a direct kick. Okay. That means one of 9 considered to be fairly serious fouls occurred, and so Rodney Marsh has the ball now for Tampa Bay. He could have kicked that directly for goal, chose not to. That's what a direct kick means. Indirect kick, you cannot kick directly at the goal. You must pass it first to a teammate.
There's the ball.
And out of bounds again. The throw-in by John Gorman for Tampa Bay. And the Rowdies see if they can set it up again. Back to Gorman. Gorman, the defender. Now he's way up front, as you can see. And again, an example of the fact that anybody can score, anybody can be on the attack. Some defenders prefer to attack more than others. Okay, there's Jan van der Veen with it, getting it over to Gorman. Paul, we've been having a little trouble with your mic, but I understand that it's fixed now. So they tell me. Okay, it'll be a throw-in for Tampa Bay. Again, here's John Gorman, getting it into the middle, crossing it. Knocked away. Little hand action there, Paul. What is this pulling and hauling going on? Okay, still having a problem with your mic, Paul. I'm sorry to say that. I think the advantage rule may have been called there. If there is a foul, but to call the foul would not be to the advantage of the team that was fouled, the referee can let the game go on. It appeared that that's what they had. Jan van der Veen with the ball, now moving it over to Mike Connell, number 6, the blonde from South Africa. Tampa Bay with the ball in the white with the red and green sleeves and socks. Ooh, boy, let's see the call on that.
A very clumsy tackle, if you can call it a tackle, from Bobby Smith. Just well, there's Bobby Smith sort of saying, well, I didn't really do anything. We can see what happens here. He comes in very hard from behind here. There are the 2 players going in. And this is not... Now we'll see the moment here. Crash before the ball even got there, and smash onto the ground goes Rodney Marsh, who I think he can be accused of hamming these things up a bit, but he certainly was hit very hard on that one. He's got a free kick out of it anyway.
Okay, and this will be a direct free kick. He can go for the goal if he wants to. He could score on this kick. When we did Pelé's last game, we saw him score from much the same position, the last goal of his career. Now the wall being set up of defenders by the Cosmos, so they move it out to the side to Auguste, number 4, and the header in the middle, not successful by Wes McLeod.
Well, tremendous chance to score there. Just a little bit more angle on McLeod's header, and it must have gone in. The goalkeeper was out of that play.
They were trying to get it into Barlich that time, but they couldn't do it. But Tampa Bay still has the ball. No score early in the first half at Tampa. The Cosmos against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Cosmos in blue, fighting for the ball. That's Terry Garbutt, the talented English midfielder who came back into the lineup last weekend, replacing Mourinho. We're going to have a direct free kick. Once again, doesn't make too much difference at that point of the field. Unlikely anybody's going to kick it for the goal.
No, I don't think so. That was another rather crude and late tackle in which the the man. Gorman took the man rather than the ball.
Okay, Ricky Davis with the ball now. The American getting it in towards Chinaglia, but no luck that time. So it's cleared away by Tampa Bay. Once again, it's a continuous action game, remember. We will be having commercial breaks when we go away, if anything happens, which we hope it won't. We'll show you a replay when we come back. That'll be an indirect free kick this time. That means, again, you cannot kick it directly for the goal. I beg the aficionados of the game to forgive us if we are very, very basic on these games this year, because we want everybody to be able to enjoy the game. You saw the referee, by the way, wearing a red shirt today. That is not a custom. It's because the Cosmos have these dark blue uniforms this year. In their first game, they made a couple passes to the referee.
Yeah, it seems incredible to me that a team like the Cosmos, with all the experience they've got around, can design uniforms which are so close to the referee's color.
Well, it's been obviated for today at any rate. Ricky Davis taking the ball away for the Cosmos. The young American very much in the ball game so far. All right, now here comes Tampa Bay again. Van der Veen passing for Barrelich. Barrelich still going after it, but Ricky Davis again taking it from him.
We saw what I think is a marvelous play in soccer there. Fabiani, the Argentine at centre forward for Tampa, ran over that ball. He let it go deliberately through his legs, and of course he took a defender with him thinking he was going to play it, and the ball ran through. Now you could almost get an assist on a play like that, even though you don't touch the ball, because you do take a defender out of the play.
Okay, there'll be some interesting matchups as we go along here. The first one I noticed is Barrelich and Ricky Davis. They've really been marking each other very closely. Two midfielders, remember. Barrelich very much of an attacking midfielder.
Michael Vigos to the stadium office, please.
Giorgio Chinaglia is being marked by Mike Connell. Tough job for Connell today.
Fabiani to McCloughan.
All right, there is Fabiani, number 20. He's the Argentine who played most of his career in Chile, who just came to Tampa Bay this year. Wes McLeod, the young Canadian, 21 years old, taking a shot. Far wide. Quickly, let's go down on the field now to Vern Lundquist. Vern?
Thank you, Jim. One of the superstars who is not playing today because of an injury is Franz Beckenbauer. Franz, you've got a bad knee. How long before you get back?
Well, I had this now 3 weeks, and I hope I can play next Sunday at the home game against Tulsa.
It would appear early on here, with only 8 minutes gone, this is going to be an extremely rough game.
Yeah, that's true. We could see the last 8 minutes. Both teams started very, very strong, very aggressive, and I hope they do it during the whole 90 minutes, because, you know, it broadcasted over the whole country, and the Americans, I think they should see a very good game.
Okay, Franz, thank you very much. Jim?
Okay, Tampa Bay, a steal. And that was Rodney Marsh. Almost getting loose straight into the goal mouth.
A lot of appeals
by Yassin.
from the Cosmos players for offside. We'll explain that in a minute. For offside, they thought Marsh had got in behind the last defender and that the play should have been stopped when he got the ball, but the linesman who's supposed to call that was waving it off.
As simply as possible, offside means that you did not have two defenders, and that includes the goalkeeper. Two defenders between you and the goal at the time the ball is passed to you. Not when it gets to you, but the time it's passed to you. There's Barrelich shaking hands with Davis.
Having
a direct kick.
Having pulled him by the scruff of the neck and almost pulled him flat on his back, he in fact is getting a yellow card warning here. Now that we should explain. There is the yellow card. Well, usually it's brandished on high. That was a rather sort of subtle showing of it. An official caution.
There's a look at it.
Through ball from Carl Alberto. Ricky Davis runs onto it. Barrelich outpaced, grab. Well, I don't think you can have any doubts that he grabbed him by the scruff of the neck, can you, Jim?
Nope. Now, if you get 2 yellow cards in a game, you're out of the game, and a substitute cannot be put into the game for you. That's the equivalent of a red card. Except if you get a red card for violent conduct, you're not only out of this game, but your next home game. However, here comes Tampa Bay on the attack. Fabiani loses possession of the ball. Jarvis getting away.
It's interesting to note, Jim, that Bobby Smith, who is probably the most aggressive tackler on the Cosmos, has been put on. When I say on, I mean to mark, to follow all over the place Rodney Marsh, the star of the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Right, and as I mentioned, on the other side, Mike Connell appears to be marking Giorgio Chinaglia.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, Jan van der Veen, the midfielder, taking a shot, not a very effective one. Fight for the ball with the head. You use, of course, only the feet and the head. You cannot use your hands, and the hands are considered to be anything from the shoulder down. We'll be right back. We're back again live at Tampa, Florida. A crowd of about 45,000 watching the Cosmos, the champions of the North American Soccer League, in the dark blue uniforms going against the home team, Tampa Bay Rowdies. There is no score. There are 33 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the first half. It's non-stop action, 45 minutes to each half, with only a 12-minute intermission. There will be a decision. There is an overtime provision in the North American League. Time enough to talk about that when and if it occurs. That's Carlos Roberto getting it in now. Not too efficiently, so Tampa Bay will take over. Wes McLeod now, only 21 years old, a Canadian who could be the first North American superstar in this league.
He's already very prominent in this game. He's done some very nice work up to now.
And a whistle from the red-clad referee, who is Werner Winterman. A yellow card going to Bobby Smith.
Well, I mentioned earlier on that Bobby Smith is one of the most aggressive people on the team. I'm not quite sure what he imagines he's doing there.
Going to be a direct kick, one on which they can shoot it for the goal directly.
In the middle of the screen there, you can see Bobby Smith sort of, well, grabbing Marsh around the waist. Marsh reacts a bit and pushes him, but the referee on this occasion saw the original fault and gave the yellow card to Bobby Smith. Now that could be a factor in this game. Bobby Smith will not be able to be quite so aggressive now with Rodney Marsh. One more caution and he's out of the game.
Looks like Rodney Marsh is going to take the direct kick, and he did. He did not elect to shoot for the goal, but there it is into the goal mouth again, but no shot. It's going to be a goal kick. That means that the Cosmos will put it in play from the goal area. That's the smaller of the two rectangles there. You must kick it past the penalty area on a goal kick, being the larger of the rectangles. Okay, Ricky Davis, number 17, the young American. Getting it now to Chinaglia, the Portuguese forward. Chinaglia on a solo run, but now he passes across and tried to give and go, but it didn't work. Let's go down to Vern Lundquist with the fine goalie who's injured for Tampa Bay, Winston Dubose.
Jim, we've got one of the outstanding young American players in this game, Winston Dubose, who is another of the injured players, has been out, I guess, for 5 games, Winston.
Yes, about that, yes, sir. Including this is my 6th game.
Nonetheless, we saw your counterpart, Zelko Bilecki, make a tremendous save on Ricky Davis.
Did very well. Excellent save. He's doing quite well right now. We're tight at the back, but they're ever so dangerous on the counterattack, these are. Here we go, right here. There it is.
And it's also starting to rain. Let's go back up to Jim. Thank you, Winston.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Vern, but we had a shot on goal by Wes McLeod, saved by Ariel Yassin. Still no score. 31 minutes, 15 seconds left in the first half.
I think we could see certain signs in the middle of the Cosmos defense again of sort of holes opening up, and players like Wes McLeod there allowed to run through the middle and take a shot. Now, obviously in soccer, if you're going to let people take shots, don't let them take them from directly in front of the goal.
All right, here is Paralic, number 15 with the ball. He's the Yugoslavian who just joined Tampa Bay this year. And now Tampa Bay getting it back again. That was Mike Connell with a nice steal. He's pretty good at that interception business.
He's very quick, and a fine, hard, aggressive player too. Another sort of potential chance there for Tampa, because once again, somebody who got free on the far side, running in.
That was John Vanderveen. There's a good look at him. We'll be back. Cosmos won on that occasion before a crowd of almost 75,000 in the Meadowlands of New Jersey. The crowd today, as we said, about 45, no official attendance yet. Now Chinaglia with the ball for the Cosmos. He's a very talented forward, tends to run with the ball himself a lot, and that time
he did run with it. This time it worked out all right because he was pushed off the ball by a defender, so this will be a free kick to the New York Cosmos. Do we call them New York Cosmos, New Jersey Cosmos? What do we call them?
I think they're officially the New York Cosmos, but they certainly represent the entire area of New York and New Jersey and Connecticut. There is our unofficial clock, 29 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the first half of play. And that shot was wide. Ricky Davis. The score still 0-0. We're live.
This Bud's for everybody who helps.
Continues in Tampa. A scoreless game so far between the Cosmos in blue, the Tampa Bay Rowdies in white with the green and gold. A direct free kick for Tampa Bay. Rodney Marsh again electing not to go for the goal, however, but to pass it off and get something set up. Manny Andrzejewski just arrived here this week, remember, from England. Still suffering from a little jet lag, and the headshot by Wes McLeod went up and over the goal.
Well, that, I cannot understand what the Cosmos defense is doing. There were 3 Tampa Bay Rowdies in the area, only Vin Riceberg and the defender in front of them. That should have been a certain goal. It's a lovely cross. 3 of them there headed in, and the guy who took it missed it.
Okay, it'll be a goal kick then for New York for the Cosmos.
Maybe the position of that ball tells me what was going wrong there. This evidently is not a goal kick. There was an infringement there, and it could have been that there were 3 players offside there.
Okay, now signals are not given as flamboyantly and understandably in the game of soccer as they are in American football, for example. It was, however, an offside. We get the official ruling, and there was Van der Veen again. Wes McLeod, the Canadian. Back to Mike Connell, a defender way up there. Now here's Fabiani.
Oh, my goodness me. Saved by Yassin from his own player. That was Smith trying to push the ball back safely to him. Yassin thinking it was coming right to him. Smith pushed it wide of him. He had to dive and make a save with his own hand. Very, very great deal of uncertainty in the Cosmos defense at the moment.
26 minutes, 50 seconds left in the first half. What do you think's the reason? Big game jitters? Or?
I can't imagine it's big Jane Gitters, is it? Is there such a phrase?
If you want to call
I've just invented it. I can't imagine it's big game jitters with all the stars they've got on this team here. I would suggest all the games of the Cosmos I've seen so far this season, they haven't looked particularly well organized in any of them, and they don't look any better this afternoon.
Okay, Tampa with the ball. They've scored on three kicks so far this year, so they're dangerous in that area.
Yes, Gordon thinks they're excellent on free kicks. I think that's one of their strongest points.
Giorgio being the coach of the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And that one is into touch or out of bounds. Santiago Formoso throwing it in for the Cosmos. On a throw-in, you must keep both feet on the ground and throw the ball with both hands from overhead. There's John Van der Veen. He's been bringing the ball down on almost every occasion for them and bringing it in pretty far. Fabiani in the middle again, and the ball up and over.
A corner kick, I think, on that one. Well, once again, a considerable amount of confusion in the Cosmos defense, allowing a player to receive the ball inside of the area and only challenging him really a second after he got it, when he was able to bring it under control, and the clearance was very messy, as you can see, a corner kick.
In other words, the Cosmos were the ones that put it over the end line. Therefore, the Rowdies get a corner kick. It's Steve Wegerle, South African, getting it into Wes McLeod. Back over to Wegerle again. Across to Andrzejewski, the defender way up there.
Andrzejewski trying to chest that ball down so that he could play it back in the middle, but he chested it over the goal line, and goal kick to Tampa.
Andrzejewski's parents were born in Poland, but he's a born and raised citizen of Southampton, England. He played for Southampton this season just ending last week. Okay, Carlos Alberto started it out for Cosmos. This is Jim McKay with Paul Gardner reporting live from Tampa Stadium, Tampa, Florida. No score in this game. Cosmos against Tampa Bay. Headed away by Arsène Auguste. And Wes McLeod getting it for Tampa Bay.
McLeod being sort of made a gift of it by Bogicevic, who just sort of casually pushed it away and pushed it straight to McLeod instead of to Garbutt.
Van der Veen knocked it downfield, but it was too long for his man, Rodney Marsh, giving a little signal about what was wrong. But the Cosmos have it. Santiago Formoso, number 25. Back over to Carlos Alberto again, one of the most talented players. He can score as well as defend. You can be sure of that. Interception.
Well, and more fouling, I think. Riceberg and holding Connell. Connell got to that ball first. The pass was intended to Riceberg, and Connell got there first, turned past Riceberg, and Riceberg has grabbed him as he was getting away from him.
Incidentally, referee Werner Vinceman is a world-class referee. Has been selected twice for the World Cup. But Tampa Bay putting the ball into play, scoreless game. They're past the 35-yard line, which is a North American League invention. We'll explain when we have a chance. It has not been of significance so far. Wegerle into the middle, saved by Yassin.
Good example there of Wegerle's speed. He got to that ball when it looked as though it was going out, and of his ability to turn a ball across the middle, of running at right angles, pushing it at right angles to his direction.
There's Auguste chasing the ball into the corner. The defender all the way up on the overlap, as they call it, and he tries a shot.
Well, that was a trick, if you like, by Auguste. Everybody thought he was going to lob it, cross it across the middle. He shot low and hard. Yassin dived on it, but you saw on that close-up there that it almost squirted out underneath him.
Okay, still nothing. 23 minutes left in the first half. Tampa Bay still on the attack. They've been there most of the game. And the shot by Oscar Fabiani. No. Has been with Tampa Bay so far. Cosmos in the blue, Tampa Bay in the white. there.
Another pass goes astray. The Cosmos passing is very inaccurate at the moment.
Cosmos have been accused many times through the years of having this all-star complex. Is that resurging today?
I don't know whether you can put it down to that. Certainly there's something wrong. Passes are not connecting, and there is a great deal of confusion in the defense.
Well, now, Mourinho, the man who is not here, is a midfielder, a Brazilian midfielder, who also likes to shoot a lot. Some people said he shot too much and did not link the team together as a midfielder should and feed his forwards. That is the reason that Terry Garbutt is playing today, in many people's opinion, although they say that Mourinho does have a slight injury. And yet, the coalescence doesn't seem to be happening.
No, it hasn't happened yet. You know, we're, well, fouled by Augusto on Stewart.
That's going to be a direct kick quickly to the field, and Coach Gordon Jago. That's Eddie Fermani.
Okay, Jim. Gordon, it seems right now that you're very much in control of the pace of this game.
Yeah, most definitely. We've had 3 excellent opportunities and we've not taken them. That's a bit concerning. We needed that early goal. I think our early play warrants the goal. We've done enough to have one up, but we've missed them, so we've still got a battle on.
All right, Jim.
The wall for Tampa Bay, a direct kick for the Cosmos. Looks like Bogey's going to take it. Vladislav Bogicevic. He is their star man in the midfield for linking things together. Leads the league in assists. Has had an assist in every game so far that the Cosmos have played. The only man in the league to have that distinction. There he is. Good look at him.
Socks rolled down. Always has his socks rolled down, Bogey.
Fight for the ball. Very physical game.
Yeah, physical, but not overly dirty. I think we've only seen, you know, the dirty fouls we've seen are grabbing by the neck, which are not dangerous. The dangerous fouls are the kicking and the late tackling. We haven't seen much of that.
Okay. Cosmos with the ball. That was Bobby Smith, number 12. Just fooling around on the sideline there. If you've just joined us, and if you're an aficionado of soccer, possibly we should point out that the referee is wearing a red shirt today, as are the linesmen. That has nothing to do with us. It has to do, being our first game, it has to do with the fact that the Cosmos have navy blue uniforms this year. And again, if you weren't with us earlier, we mentioned in their first game they passed the referee a couple of times. Okay.
Rather sad sight there for Chinaglia. He received a lovely through ball from Carlos Alberto. He tried to turn on him, and he simply fanned. He fell over flat on his back and missed the ball.
Throw in for the Cosmos. There's a good look at Giorgio. Now, Bobby Smith has 1 yellow card, a warning for rough play.
We're seeing a marvelous example there of how Bogicevic, with his strength, can keep an opponent away from the ball. He's being heavily challenged, but he sort of leans into the opponent, and with his height, the ball is about 3 feet away from him there.
Okay, we'll be back with more NASL soccer after in blue, moving from right to left on your screen. We have 18 minutes, 45 seconds left in the first half. There's Rick Davis, the American, number 17 with the ball, getting it into the center, looking for Chinaglia, but it's headed away by Mike Connell. Again, the setup for the Cosmos. Stewart with the ball, number 7, the talented Englishman. Things he can do with his feet are quite remarkable. Getting over to Sensational, the Portuguese forward. Down he goes.
No foul, says the referee. Straightforward goal kick for the Cosmos. Or Tampa, I should say. Yeah.
There's a look at Sensational. He was a medic in Angola during the war there for 2.5 years. A lot of happier time for him right now, I'm sure.
I would think the Cosmos must be feeling a little bit concerned at the moment, because Tampa have had, I think, 3, I've counted, maybe even 4 clear opportunities to score, which they've simply blown. As Gordon Jago said, they've just have only themselves to thank for not being at least 1 goal up now.
The shot by Fabiani, the Argentine, number 20.
Well, he didn't get as much of the ball as he wanted there, that's for sure, and he turned away in disgust. As the ball left his foot, he knew that shot wasn't going anywhere.
That was the 11th shot for the Rowdies, by the way. The Cosmos have only 4 so far in the first half. Down on the field, Rick Davis, I believe.
Yeah, well, he was tripped. He went past Barrelage, and Barrelage going in the other direction, in fact. Just his foot stayed there. Davis running down here with the ball, cuts inside, Barrelage behind him, and as you can see, his foot comes in waylaid flat onto his face.
Okay, an injury timeout. It'll give us an opportunity to break away, but we'll be right back in Tampa. Stand by. It's 0-0. Again, we return to Tampa Stadium. It's the first half between the Cosmos and the Rowdies. 16 minutes, 50 seconds left to play. Tampa Bay on the attack again in the white. The Cosmos in the blue. It's 0-0. The crowd estimated at between 40 to 45,000. We'll have the official attendance later on. A tremendously enthusiastic crowd here in Tampa. As you may notice from time to time, they all come, or most of them do, dressed in either green or yellow, the colors of the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Ricky Davis, by the way, has stayed in the game, although slightly injured, for the Cosmos. Apparently not as serious as it looked for a moment. Rodney Marsh now, number 10, the star of Tampa Bay, with the ball. He's their captain. He's their brain, if you will. Here's Barelich, the Yugoslav. Back to Barelich on the give and go, and he gave it back again, but nobody was there.
A double give and go, which in fact went a little bit too quickly for Wes McLeod. A marvelous idea from Barelich, though, because if McLeod had been able to get that ball again, he must have had a shot on goal from right in front of goal.
Halftime is only 12 minutes long, but we're going to have a lot of things for you at halftime. The great Pelé will be here in person, and also will give some instruction to young players. Fascinating thing where you'll see Pelé at work with the magic of his feet and head. We'll have highlights of the first half and an up-close and personal on one of the players in the game. Boy, I'll tell you, it's a non-stop afternoon when you come to soccer. Here come the Rowdies. Fabiani in the middle waiting for the ball, but it didn't get to him.
So Steve Wegley cutting in, using his speed, getting past Garbett rather easily, but he couldn't get past Wim Reisbergen.
Down went Chinaglia, but it doesn't look like the call. No?
No, I think that was Chinaglia's old problem of running straight into a defender again, and of course you invariably lose the ball when you do that.
John Gorman on the left side now, the defender, moving the ball up, overlapping. No score in the game. You know, Tampa Bay has not allowed a goal in the first half all year long. That reputation is, the statistic is true so far. No shot, no shot. There's Barelich now again. Barelich very much, remember, of an attacking midfielder. So he can feed the others or he can take a shot himself. Still Tampa Bay, as it has been for most of the first half, but no score, remember. That's Terry Garbett, number 14, getting it across to Santiago Formoso. Battle for the ball here. Nobody in control for the moment, and now the Cosmos take it. That 35-yard line, that yellow stripe, means that you cannot be offside in the North American Soccer League unless it takes place past that yellow line, the 35-yard line, when you're on the attack. Let's see who they call that on, whether it's a goal kick or a corner kick.
I think it'll be a corner kick. It's a very cautious game of cat and mouse between Denny Tuitt and this big Haitian defender, Arsène Auguste.
Corner kick by Cosmos does not work out. Now Fabiani has the ball and loses it back to Bobby Smith. Reisbergen, number 15, got it down to Terry Garbett. That's Garbett now. His job is supposed to be to feed those forwards. That's what he's trying to do right now. Getting it to Chinaglia on the left. A whistle.
Very clear offside. Strident whistle from the referee for offside. As soon as that ball left Garbett's foot, up went the linesman's flag on the far side of the field. Eddie Fermani screaming something. I think he wants people to get back and cover on defense. They're not doing that too efficiently.
Again, offside means there were not at least two defenders between you and the goal at the time the ball was played or passed to you.
Yeah, that's the important thing, because you can, in fact, be inside that last defender when you get the ball if you ran there from a deeper position.
John Gorman on the right now feeding the ball to Wes McLeod. McLeod into the middle to save by Yassine. Well, I'll tell you, this is spirited competition, to say the least. Yassine throwing it. He can do that. He's the only man who can put his hands on the ball. When he puts it in play, he can throw it or kick it.
Noticeable how quick the Tampa defenders are to cover Cosmos players when they get the ball. That pass came to Bogicevic, but although there was a defender further away, they both arrived at the ball at the same time, and it was the Tampa player who got the ball.
All right, here come the Cosmos again. The ball into Chinaglia. It's a goal! Or we look for the offside call.
Oh, I
don't see it.
I think that should be a good goal.
Looks like the Cosmos, with one of their lightning thrusts, have scored the first goal of the game. Giorgio Chinaglia.
You can't present Chinaglia with opportunities like that. In fact, it was a terrible mistake by a Tampa defender on that.
All right, we'll see
as the ball came over. It slid right under a Tampa defender's foot. I can only think it was Connell.
Here it is from the end zone.
Now there's Garb with the ball, and right under, now who is that defender? Right under his foot, and of course Chinaglia left alone with the goalkeeper.
I think it was
that's Andruszewski, I think.
Here it is again. from behind the goal.
Now they're all on his own. Perfect opportunity. The goalkeeper has to come out, has to commit himself, has to make the man hurry his shot, but there was nothing he could do about that.
Okay, and now there are 11 minutes, 45 seconds left in the first half. It is now the Cosmos 1 and the Tampa Bay Rowdies nothing. The first goal to be scored against Tampa Bay in the first half all year. Let's go down again to Vern Lundquist.
Okay, Jim, we're standing here with Eddie Fermani. You said a couple of weeks ago, Eddie, you got to get the ball to Chinaglia. You just did. You're up 1-0.
Yes, well, you know, we've been absorbing a little bit of the punishment from them, you know, and that's his game. He's the best goal scorer, one of the best in the world. And therefore, you know, our main object is to try and get the ball to him in the open and behind the defenses.
Up to that point, they had the goal chances, you had few.
Yes, well, we were a little bit sloppy at the back. We've been just a little bit too sloppy for my liking, you know. And I think that what we are going to have to be careful is just to absorb some of their enthusiasm and their running, and then just try and counter-attack and hit them from there.
Jim?
All right, Vern, it's Tampa Bay now with the ball. They'd like to even it up before halftime. There's plenty of time. More than 10 minutes still remaining. Again, continuous action. Play never stops except for injuries. The referee will be the judge of when that is to happen. He is also the man who keeps the official time. So the time we give you is unofficial. There's Chinaglia with the ball. The Portuguese forward for the Cosmos in the blue. Into the center. No good this time. Chinaglia was making his way towards it, but not in time.
Again, the goal is obviously going to put a bit of steam into the Cosmos. They created that time, created their own opportunity, which was a good one. They could have scored from that.
Assists were given on that goal, by the way, to Bogicevic and to Terry Garbett. That is the 8th game this year. At every game so far, Bogicevic has had at least one assist for the Cosmos.
Wow.
So he's serving his function, and Garbett also served his. Remember, Coach Fermani is said to prefer Terry Garbett over Mourinho, who is not here today in a controversial move. Here comes Tampa Bay, however. Van der Veen with the ball. Tried to get it to the striker, but couldn't get it to Fabiani.
Well, that pass was, I don't think that pass was ever on. He tried to push it through an area where there were two Cosmos defenders in the way before he could ever get to Fabiani.
Long pass downfield to Reisbergen, the defender on the overlap on the attack now.
Trying to come up with it.
Down goes the Dutchman.
The linesman's flag, which is waving briskly in the air there, probably indicates a foul. That was August, who came in very hard on Reisbergen.
August is 6 feet, 385 pounds, a very rugged defender and a veteran in the league. This is Reisbergen, who himself was thrown out of a game earlier this year.
Well, exactly. Reisbergen is not exactly backward when it comes to being forward on aggressiveness, but that time he took a very hard knock from August.
A very forward defender, eh?
Yes, you could put it that way.
Okay. We're going to have a direct free kick by the Cosmos. Bogicevic will take it. Remember, he had an assist on the one goal we've had in the game, scored by Chinaglia again into the center. Good center, but nobody there.
Well saved by Željko Bilecki. He punched that out, and in fact, Hewitt ran for it on the near post. It never got to the far post.
Bogicevic beating it across field, and the kick going awry. It'll be a goal kick. That means that Tampa Bay will put it into play. We'll be back. Good look at Terry Garbett there. This is Jim McKay with Paul Gardner. The score, Cosmos 1, Tampa Bay nothing. 7 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the first half of a continuous action soccer game in the North American League. Giorgio Chinaglia scored the only goal of the game to date, his 8th of the season. He leads the league in that respect. There's a good look at Arseno Kusi, the veteran Haitian defender for Tampa Bay. That's right, second-team All-Stars for the last 2 years. Good one. Now the Cosmos on the move again. Formosa, the defender, almost had a shot.
That's a good example of the way a defender can come up. Formosa, usually playing deep, saw space on the right ahead of him, ran into it and got the ball from Chinaglia, but the ball was kicked over the line. Corner kick to the Cosmos.
Because the defender put it over the line, remember, over the end line. It is a corner kick to the attacking team, in this case the Cosmos, headed away by Barilic. But now Bobby Smith gets it back for the Cosmos. To Chinaglia. He's over on the right now. He was on the left before. He's a forward. A goal scorer, potentially. Into the, well, took a shot.
A nice little run. Some good faking on that run there, but the final shot was very weak indeed. Straight at the goalkeeper.
Here's another look at it.
Well, cutting inside. Look at the way he plays the ball from one foot to the other. A fake to the outside, inside, the defender's left standing, and then, alas, a rather weak final shot. That wasn't a fitting ending to some very nice dribbling there.
Okay, here comes Barilic now. We're live again for Tampa Bay. Beating it to nobody. There was some open space, but there was nobody in it.
Nope. Again, Tampa Bay, as soon as they get a goal down, they're falling into the fault that the Cosmos had when they were not a goal up.
Something that's difficult to see in this game is the play away from the ball, which will explain when things slow down, if they ever do. That was Stewart going down and holding his leg.
Stewart going down, a tackle, a late tackle by Auguste. The referee says no foul, play on.
Let's keep right on playing. This is a tough game, soccer. 5 minutes, 45 seconds left. Cosmos 1, Tampa Bay nothing. There's John Gorman, the defender. Boy, he moves up front a lot, doesn't he?
He's moved up front, but he's heavily boxed him. My goodness me, he got the ball out despite that. He had two defenders on him there, Carlos Alberto and Bogicevic.
Okay, Ricky Davis booting it all the way up into the grandstand there. Here's a look at Dennis Stewart now on his last move.
When this tackle, where you can see that Auguste's left foot just caught him somewhere around about the knee. Now that looks a bit of clumsiness rather than deliberate fouling.
I thought that hit the goal post. It was Oscar Fabiani taking a shot. There's another shot by Barrelin.
Tremendous shot by Fabiani. Yassin really didn't know what was happening there at all. He was like a spectator. Stood there, watched it bounce back off his left upright. Very lucky escape for the Cosmos here.
So it's still 1-0 Cosmos. A look from the end zone.
Ball coming in. A bit of a scrabble there. The ball goes loose. Tremendous right foot shot. You can see it hit right on the angle. Yassin over on the other side of the goal. Just wondering what on earth's going on here.
Of course, you'll see that fairly often, the ball hitting the post, because they're kicking for precise spots right in the corner of the goal in a case like that. The pace does not stop at Tampa Bay. It's 1-0. The champion Cosmos over the Tampa Bay Rowdies, both leaders of their divisions in the North American League. The first game for ABC, and we're having a good time.
No question there'll be a whistle on that. McLeod playing the ball. Garbin absolutely there. He's getting a lecture from the referee. No yellow card, just a verbal warning. If he does it again, he will get a yellow card. Barreling into McLeod from behind, just unceremoniously dumping him on his backside.
Winsman, the referee, seems to be keeping this game pretty well under control.
He's a good referee, Winsman. He refereed in
McLeod. That was Wegley, number 7. Now, out of bounds again.
I was just going to say about Winsman, he was one of the referees chosen to be a referee during the 1978 World Cup in Argentina. He didn't actually get a game to referee, but he was a linesman down there.
Barelich going for the ball. By the way, Rodney Marsh being very closely marked. He hasn't been in play too much in the first half.
No, but Rodney Marsh is dangerous when you forget he's there, I think. You can't take your eye off a player like that.
A direct free kick. Now, he could go for the goal if he wanted, remember, on this. It's Steve Wegerle taking it. There's a good look at Rodney Marsh, the captain of the Rowdies. Until you hear him speak, he looks like the picture of a South Florida athlete. Tall, good-looking, long blonde hair. He lives here now, too, with his family. Wegerle getting it into the middle of Van der Veen, the midfielder. Van der Veen trying a shot. And Yassin's vision, it looked like, might have been blocked for a moment there.
That had to come through a lot of players, and you'll notice that the two players nearest the ball as Yassin made the save were both Tampa Rowdy players. So in other words, I can't say I admire that tackle by Connell very much on Reisberg, and they're just a straightforward body block. If that ball had sprung loose from Yassin, I think it would have gone into the net, because the two nearest players were both Tampa Bay Rowdies. The Cosmos did not come back on that.
Another look.
Again, Connell coming in way after the ball has gone away.
Soccer, you're supposed to play the ball, not the man. Going right to left, the Cosmos. Tampa Bay heading it away. Score 1-0 Cosmos now with 2.5 minutes left in the first half. Another 45 minutes of action coming up after a 12-minute halftime intermission, during which we have all kinds of things to bring to you, including the greatest name in the history of the sport, Pelé. Here comes Fabiani, 20, getting it into the middle to Wes McLeod, the popular Canadian. He moves it across, and it's bobbled a bit by Wegerle. Wegerle now, the South African, heeling it back to McLeod. And now to Wegerle again. Wegerle could have a shot. He gets it into the middle. And it's a goal! Peter Barrelage, the Yugoslavian, barreling through.
Well, again, not exactly a very clean goal. A result of all that confusion in the Cosmos defense, but the ball is in the net. The score is 1-1, and I think I give most credit on that to an absolutely wonderful pass from this young Canadian, Wes McLeod.
Every goal is a celebration in a game of soccer because they're so difficult to come by. And you see how the players hug each other. You see how the fans celebrate it. Here's another look.
Again, that's McLeod's pass. That is the pass that sets this goal loose. The ball comes across. Yassin does not hold it. It bobbles loose for a moment. And I'm trying to see who that is who finally puts it into the net there.
Barrelage Barlich, fourth goal of the year.
Wegerle pushing the ball across. Yassin will not hold this ball. Goes for it. Doesn't hold it. The ball bounces loose there. Barlich is the one who gets there first. 1-1 the score.
Assist to Wegerle and McLeod on that. The Rowdies right back in the ball game. 1 minute and 39 seconds left in the first half.
This marvelous pass. There we are. What a lovely pass that is. Right into his path. Beautifully paced. Across. Yassin doesn't hold the ball. Barlich is there first, and he just drives it joyfully right into the roof of the net.
Well, he almost drove it through the net. Here come the Cosmos now as we're back live. After Barlich's fourth goal of the season, Wegerle's seventh assist. The goal came at 43:02 of the 45-minute period.
I think that was a very much deserved goal for Barlich, who you're looking at there. Tampa certainly have controlled this game much more than the Cosmos. 1-1 is a much fairer score than 1-0 to the Cosmos.
Incidentally, Barlich and Bogey of the Cosmos played next to each other for the Yugoslavian national team for a long time. They certainly know each other. Here's Rodney Marsh now. Tampa Bay with renewed tempo and pace. Not much time left, but there are 45 seconds. There's Barlich again, this time trying to beat it. It's a goal!
Another series of dreadful mistakes in the Cosmos defense, letting that ball go through. Yassin, of course, looked bad on that, but you can't really blame him because that ball should have been cut out by at least 2 defenders before it got to him.
Oscar Fabiani, star of the Chilean League. His team that he played for before he came up here won 44 games in a row. And this is a happy bunch of Rowdies and a rowdy bunch of fannies, as they call them down here.
Let's take a look at this ball. Coming across on the ground. Now that's a low ball. 1 defender, 2 defenders not going for it. Yassin moving very late. Fabiani left isolated on the far post. He played it well. He played his shot beautifully. A perfect angle. Here you see Barlich's cross. 1 defender missing it completely. Yassin, of course, thinking the defender is going to get it.
And from ground level.
There goes Barlich's cross. It's Formosa who goes for the ball, doesn't get it. Yassin standing there pointing out, I think he was appealing for offside, but rather a vain, that's a post-facto appeal.
Only 15 seconds left in the first half. Assists were given to Rodney Marsh and to Barlich on that last goal by Oscar Fabiani. There it is, being picked off by Bilecki, the goalie for Tampa Bay. The half almost over. 4-3, 2-1, and that should be it. That's it at the end of the first half.
Ball missed by defender Chinaglia, all on his own in front of the goalkeeper. He does not miss opportunities like that. That went about a foot below the bar. So Cosmos 1 up at that point.
That was Chinaglia scoring the 8th goal of the season. He leads the league.
And that's the way it stayed until about 2 minutes before half-time, when again this ball came over. Now McLeod. You'll notice McLeod getting the ball. Well, this is another look at Chinaglia's goal.
Yeah.
Here. Chinaglia on his own here in front of the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper, Bilecki, comes out. He has to do that, but he really doesn't stand a chance against a player of Chinaglia's astuteness and power. Smashed into the net there. 1-0 lead for the Cosmos.
And at this point, pretty late in the first half, it looked like the Cosmos would go to the dressing room with the lead. Now we're going to have a look, after it was tied up, at Barlich passing across to Fabiani. This is the 3rd goal.
And Fabiani running in on the far post after the ball had got past. Formosa stretched desperately for it. That was almost like a repeat of the mistake made, in fact, by the Cosmos defense.
Okay, so that's the way it was in the first half. The Tampa Bay Rowdies taking a 2-1 lead, and this crowd here is really having a great time. As we say, they call themselves the Fannies, you know, Rowdies and Fannies, and they're all together. And the enthusiasm just tremendous. Well, have a look at the crowd sometime during halftime, perhaps. But right now we're going to bring in, as we said, the greatest name in the history of the sport of soccer, the incomparable Pelé. Pelé, would you come in for just a minute? What do you think of the first half?
Well, the game for Cosmos. I think Cosmos has played without Beckenbauer, without Marine. Then we lost a little bit the midfield. And Tampa Bay coming forward. We had a great chance to score, but we didn't score. Then seems to me the second goal from Tampa, offside. But Tampa play better. This primary field, no doubt, that Tampa plays more teamwork.
And you think Fabiani might have been offside on that goal? That's an interesting point. It wasn't called, though.
Similar to me, it wasn't called, but it's difficult to see. We have to know the replay again.
It's good to have you with us in person, and of course, on every one of our games, we're going to see you on videotape with Inside Soccer, this little feature that we're going to have. I know the future of the American youth in this game is one of the most important things there is.
Oh, no doubt, because all the kids, all the youth American now involved in soccer. Then no doubt, you'll see the games now. Every game we got a nice crowd, 35, 45, 71, 72. This is because the kids like the sport. The kids, when the kids involved in the sport, no doubt, they grow.
Well, right now we're going to learn a little bit about how to learn to play soccer, as illustrated by Pelé himself. There's a look at the scene on the sideline. It's halftime. Inside Soccer is brought to you by Minolta, the easy way to use automatic 35mm reflex cameras.
Today we're going to talk about ball control. Three things are very important. Balance, keep the eyes on the ball, and try to hit the ball in the meter.
Several keys as you watch Pelé in this juggling exercise. Notice he does as he said he would do. He keeps his eye on the ball. He's hitting it right in the middle, and he has perfect balance, hitting the ball very, very softly. Next, a dribbling exercise, controlling the ball while on the run. He is changing direction, using both feet. You must become adept at controlling the ball with both the left and the right foot in soccer. Then when you do become adept at controlling the ball, you can move your eyes elsewhere. Notice now as Pelé has his eyes off the ball, looking around for opponents who might be approaching. Also looking around for teammates who might be on the receiving end of a pass, but all the while maintaining perfect control of the ball. Soccer is a contact sport. Opponents will be there. Their aim, get the ball away from you. Pelé shielding the ball and the opponent from the ball, using his shoulder, leaning away from the ball, and always in perfect control. And finally, a faking and cutting exercise. Pelé, a master at ball control.
Olympic gold medal winner Bruce Jenner makes act.
Tampa Bay Rowdies 2 and the New York Cosmos 1 in a marvelous North American Soccer League game and a very important one. The first goal of the day came late in the first half and was scored by this man, Giorgio Chinaglia, one of the great names in the history of world soccer in recent years and certainly the biggest name in American soccer today. Let's meet him up close and personal. His story started in Italy, this record-breaking scorer of the North American Soccer League. But today he's an American citizen, and more his friends call him George instead of Giorgio. Always, though, he is Chinaglia. Once the soccer idol of Rome, his parting still mourned by the fans there. What does he think of his present team, the champion Cosmos?
I love the Cosmos very much because I feel part of them. And that's why I take a loss or a win in two different ways. When we lose, I'm very, very upset. When we win, I'm very, very happy. When you show emotions and you show what kind of person you are, you have to bring it into your house. You have to. Because if I don't play well, I go home, I'm very moody and I'm very upset. So, you know, unfortunately, somebody is going to get hurt because, you know, say my wife, you know, I don't feel like talking and that. But, you know, you marry a person for what he is and you have to share the joy and the sadness with the person.
Wanna go? Come on, man.
Very seldom you see a father being a professional athlete and a son following the footsteps. It's very, very rare that happens. But any sport that he can do, I'm very happy, as long as he does some kind of sports.
Come on, get up.
Well, when any soccer player scores a goal, I don't think he really knows what he's doing because he's so happy. The joy in him is so much that it's incredible. You cannot describe when you score a goal because you actually don't even see it in reality. You score it, you see the ball go into the net, and then you go in ecstasy. Every feeling comes out of you. You sometimes meet a person and you talk to him for about 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and this guy has no feelings or this guy doesn't talk much. Just let him score a goal, and then you see what kind of person he is.
undefeated New York Cosmos are going to stay that way for 1979 in the North American Soccer League season. They're going to have to come from behind in the second half because right now they trail their arch rivals, the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Chinaglia of the Cosmos opened the scoring at the 32-minute, 45-second mark of the 45-minute first half, assisted by Bogicevic and Terry Garbutt. Then, however, the Rowdies struck back at 43:02. Barilic, the Yugoslavian, assisted by Steve Wegerle and young McLeod, the Canadian. And then number 20, Fabiani, at the 44:18 mark. Remember, it's a 45-minute half, so there was very little time left. Fabiani assisted by Rodney Marsh and by Peter Barilic. We're going to have another look at that third goal. It's a bit controversial. Some people seem to think it was offside, Paul, perhaps including you.
Well, the offside, no, I had a suspicion that the player, you see, this is Barilic going to make the pass. Now, the player, he's got his head up. He's looking on the other side of the field. The pass goes in. Now, if a player's going to be offside, he must be offside at this moment. The moment the ball hits the foot, or the foot hits the ball. By the time that ball reaches Fabiani, by the time he gets way across here, he gets past all these defenders. One defender, Formosa goes for it, misses it. There's Fabiani running in. And I would say that the chances are that he was onside, that he was inside those fullbacks at the time that Barilic made that pass. So I think that was probably a perfectly correct call by the officials and a good goal for Tampa. And what a psychological moment to take the lead.
There is Giorgio Chinaglia. Well, he was a happy man there for a while, but now he's got to get him back again. Here are the lineups for the second half. You've seen the goalkeeper, the defenders, Smith, Reisberg, and Alberto, and Formosa. This is for the Cosmos, of course. Midfield, Terry Garbutt still, Bogicevic, Ricky Davis, the American. The forwards, Dennis Stewart, Chinaglia, and Senino. That's the way they'll go for the second half. Now a look for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, who lead this game. Galecki in the goal, the defenders, Andrzejewski, who just came here from England this week, Mike Connell, Arsene Auguste, and Johnny Gorman, the Scot. In the midfield, Peter Barilic, he's had a goal, remember. Jan van der Veen, the Dutchman. Wes McLeod from Canada. In the forwards, Wegerle from South Africa. Fabiani, who scored the lead goal so far. And Rodney Marsh. We're ready for the second half. It's live action in the North American Soccer League. It's the Cosmos in the navy blue with gold or yellow, if you call it, I suppose, and white stockings going from left to right this time. As in American football, they have changed direction. Ricky Davis with the ball, number 17. American, who played a pretty good first half. Now Tampa Bay taking it over. Jan van der Veen, number 5. Getting across to Barilic, who was so good in the first half. The midfielder Barilic, remember, but it's very much of an attacking midfielder. Happy group of more than 40,000 estimated fans watching here. What are you looking for in the second half, Paul, as we have this feeling out process so far?
I'll just be quiet while this...
Yep, headed away.
Still danger here for the Cosmos.
Yep.
Now what are we going to do? Free kick going the other way. What I would be looking for, I hope, is for Tampa to press home their advantage. They have a one-goal lead now. In soccer, if you try and rest on a one-goal lead, you can lose the momentum, you can lose the spirit as going forward. And against a team like the Cosmos, who we all know are a very good team and have a tremendous amount of attacking power, that could be fatal. If Tampa want to win this game, and I'm sure they do, they've got to keep attacking, not defend.
Speaking of attacking, look at that statistic. The Rowdies with 17 shots, the Cosmos with 7. These are the Rowdies in the white.
Of course, those statistics can be a little bit misleading. If those are 7 good shots, which should have been 7 goals, and there were 17 other shots which went wide, then that doesn't tell you too much.
One of the Americans on the Cosmos, Bobby Smith from Trenton, New Jersey, you saw there, number 12. But it's Tampa Bay going from right to left this time, remember, in the reverse direction. That's Andrzejewski moving it out to the middle of the field to Connell. Connell, who played a very, let's say, hard-charging first half.
Well, that's his style of game, and it certainly worked very well for Tampa.
Yes, it did. Intercepted by Cosmos, Carlos Alberto.
Well, you don't see that very often. Carlos Alberto caught napping, caught asleep, didn't realize there was a player coming up behind him, kicked it right off his foot.
That was Van der Veen who stole it away from Carlos Alberto. Having lost it into the middle, but Carlos Alberto, but again, stolen by Wegerle.
What on earth could he have been drinking at half-time? Well, he recovers his poise there, enough to push the ball away for a corner kick.
Very hot, muggy afternoon. We're in Florida, remember. Temperature about 85 degrees. No threat of a thunderstorm at the moment, although they can come up very quickly here. And there, the Rowdies with the ball. That was John Gorman. Kick into the middle now, and the header by Andrzejewski. Cosmos take possession. That was Chinaglia getting it to Stewart, the 2 forwards back around midfield right now, 2 of the 3 forwards. So Terry Garbutt, number 14 now, getting it to Senino. Senino, the forward, could have a shot. No, he gives it to Stewart. Canaglia's in the middle now. Chinaglia always waiting for the ball. Ricky Davis. Into the middle again. That was Bogey who had it, but now Bogey's pass is picked off by Tampa Bay by Barrelich. Little report from Vern on the sidelines. How is it down there?
Jim, it's very humid, very muggy, hot, as a matter of fact. I heard you say upper 80s. It's probably 10 to 15 degrees warmer here, about 100 degrees on the playing surface, but no slow in the pace of the game so far. It may begin to tell at about the 70th minute. Back to you.
Okay, that was Rodney Marsh with a neat bit of footwork by himself there. Now he gets it to McLeod, who then tried sort of a reverse give and go there. It didn't work out.
He tried to get a ball back from Barrelich, but Bogey cut out the pass and has set a Cosmos attack going here.
Okay, a couple of streaks were broken here today. The Cosmos had not allowed a goal in 262 minutes, which is almost 3 full games, and then they allowed 2 of them within a minute and 16 seconds.
Well, they must have fallen asleep at the end of the second half. Now, I don't really see, in the first half, I don't really see much evidence that they've come in on an exactly violently awake note at the beginning of the second half, either.
And there's a steal by Rick Davis. Cosmos going from left to right. Remember, Chinaglia passes it by, leaves the ball for Chinaglia. Off the foot of the Tampa defender. Chinaglia going out to try to steal it.
And going out to reclaim a ball that he lost. And he did reclaim it, but he gave it away again.
Okay, now Tampa Bay. The other streak that was broken was Tampa Bay had not allowed a goal in the first half all year. They allowed one, of course, this time. But they lead 2-1. Tampa over the champion Cosmos.
Look at Rodney Marsh grinning away there. He thinks he's getting a little violent with Bobby Smith. We know that they're going to be banging into each other. They have been all first half, and they will be all for the second half.
Okay, Senino now, the Portuguese. He goes by just that single name of Senino. It's a diminutive of his own first name. Going to be a corner kick, it looks like. There is Senino.
There's Smith and Marsh tangling again. Smith goes for the ball, doesn't quite get it. Marsh stumbles, falls down. Now there's a lot of pushing going on there. There's Marsh now. I don't know whether he's making love to him or trying to throttle him.
Corner kick now. We're back live. There are 39 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game. Into the middle by Senino and the save by Bilecki.
Yeah, now that's the sort of, if you're the coach of the attacking team, you don't really like to see that. A goalkeeper allowed to come so far out, absolutely unchallenged. Nobody went for it. To even make him take his eye off the ball. He had a clean grab at that ball.
Cosmos, remember, are 7-0 in the league, undefeated, although they had a number of close calls, particularly in the early games. Last Sunday, however, they beat Houston decisively, 3-0 at home. But here they're up against not only the Rowdies, but the home field of the Rowdies. And this is beautiful, real turf here. The most beautiful in the league,
I think we should mention this is an absolutely gorgeous surface for playing soccer on. Smooth, short grass. It's a joy.
However, the Cosmos have played most of their games on artificial surfaces. Could it take them time to get used to the real grass again? Or should men of this talent be able to do it right away?
I think the adaptation, if it's going to need it, should be over by now.
Right. Okay, there is Fabiani with the ball by himself. Shielding it, getting it in the middle, but losing it. He was trying for Rodney Marsh, but it was all blocked up there. It was Riceberg.
Clogged with Cosmos defenders. A little bit optimistic, hoping to get a pass through there on the ground.
Cosmos in the blue, going from left to right, trailing 2-1. 38 minutes and 30 seconds left in the soccer match. This is Jim McKay with Paul Gardner, Pelé, and Vern Lundquist reporting on this North American Soccer League game. Again, the Cosmos in their new away uniforms of dark blue with yellow. Makes them look a little smaller physically, it seems to me, than their home uniform. There is Senino getting it to Bogey, down to Jewett. Jewett's cut down, but no whistle.
Appealing for a penalty kick. It did look as though his leg was hooked away from him by August after the ball had gone. Well, no facial reaction from Jewett there, and he's an actor. He can really turn on the dramatics when he wants to.
Okay, Wegerle, number 7, kicked it downfield and missed his man.
Let's take a look as this ball comes across. Jewett gets it, he traps it. August comes in, now Jewett plays the ball away. He has trouble. Well, maybe it's just a question of him trying to unhook his leg from August.
Would have been a near thing to call that one, wouldn't it? But here come the Cosmos again. Ricebergen to Bogicevic. And he has the ball stolen neatly by
very sloppy pass from Bogicevic. We've seen a lot of those this afternoon. Very surprising.
Andrzejewski, just off the plane from England, didn't seem to be showing any signs of jet lag on that one. Fabiani and now Marsh. Rodney Marsh feeding it into the middle. to McLeod.
Wow. McLeod had his shot. Beautiful, beautiful pass from Rodney Marsh. McLeod came in on his own in the penalty area, took the shot. Here's Marsh. Here's the reverse pass. Cuts out 3 defenders. See them there? The shot, now Carlos Alberto, it hits him. He doesn't play it, and you'll see that Yassin is diving to his left. If that ball had been deflected any less, it might well have gone in with Yassin diving the other way. Corner kick.
Steve Wegerle kicking it into the middle, the cross. The center, call it either one. And now, back in the middle again. It was intended for Marsh, but it didn't get there. Kicked away neatly by Formoso. Now we have Rick Davis. Young American of tremendous promise, playing in midfield today for the Cosmos. Bogicevic with a long pass downfield, intended for Stewart, and he's there. Being marked closely by Auguste. Now Senino with the ball for Cosmos. Into the middle, and the shot, and the score by Chinaglia. Unless there's an offside. Nope. It's all tied up at 2 apiece.
Yes, a lovely assist from Senino. Beautifully played too, drawing a defender and pushing the ball in the middle, where Chinaglia, again, you can't leave Chinaglia free anywhere near the center of the goal in that penalty area.
A strange silence falling over the stadium here in Tampa.
This is Senino running the ball in there. Right along the penalty area line, pushes it in. Chinaglia traps it with his right foot and immediately takes that hard shot, beautifully placed just inside the right-hand post. That's one thing to notice about Chinaglia. Along the line, Chinaglia waiting for the pass, gets it, one touch, bang with his right foot, really no wind-up. You see the power of that shot and really no wind-up at all.
A look from high overhead at the 9th goal of the year for Giorgio Chinaglia, the
right
league
on the
leader
edge
in
of
that
the area.
respect.
Beautifully placed shot.
And from ground level.
We're a little bit earlier on this. Senino picking up the ball, running it back, running it along the line, pushing it to Chinaglia. One touch, and then that right foot, absolutely lethal.
Okay, back to the game now. It's the Rowdies on the attack, but the ball kicked away by a Cosmo. All tied up at 2-2, and now there are 35 minutes left in the game. Should it end up tie, there will be a decision. There are no ties in the North American Soccer League. They go to a sudden death overtime. And if that doesn't produce anything, they go to a thing called a shootout, which is extremely exciting. We'll explain it to you when and if it happens. So Cosmos with the ball again. Tied up at 2-2. Carlos Alberto moving the ball down to Chinaglia. And that's a throw-in for Tampa Bay. It's all tied up at 2-2 in Tampa. There's the man who scored the last goal.
Give me a smile with everything on it. I'll pass it on. Give me a Coke when you smile, and I promise to pass it along. I'm gonna pass it along. The world needs a lift when it's tired and thirsty. Coke and a smile.
Well, the referee reversed the lineman on that call before we went away. It was a in for the Cosmos. So they're on the attack. The linesmen are merely here as advisors to the referee. So the referee is the one man and the only man who makes the decision. Now Tampa Bay trying to get possession. Stewart all over his men.
Tampa Bay being playing a little risky game there, trying to work the ball out, but Connell's done it beautifully, and he's got it to Wegerle, who's streaking away downfield.
There he comes. Back over to McLeod. The shot by Van der Veen there it was. Van der Veen, number 5, was not all that wide.
No, that was a beautiful shot because it was curving. He had to play it outside Carlos Alberto. Carlos Alberto got the angle round Carlos Alberto, trying to curve it in, and it really isn't more than a foot or two outside that left-hand post.
Certainly wasn't. Still tied up at 2-2 in Tampa, Florida.
Fiat.
It's a tie game at Tampa, Florida between the Cosmos and the Rowdies. The Rowdies in the white on the attack in this North American Soccer League game. And headed away nicely by Terry Garbutt for the Cosmos. There is Arseno Goose, who's been down on the field for about a minute, but in soccer, unless the injury appears to be serious, the game goes on. There are no timeouts in the game. For that reason, we take our commercial during play. If we miss anything, and we haven't so far, we will replay it immediately when we come back. We have everything on tape in slow motion, so don't worry about it from that point of view. Non-stop play is of the essence in soccer, so that's the way I suspect it will always be. It should be. There's Senino with the ball for the Cosmos. Coming up, Wide World of Sports, and let's see, who's that went down? Can't catch it. It's Jan van der Veen.
A little bit of an altercation around there. Senino and Van der Veen in a tackle. Auguste still down in another part of the field. We've got Tampa Bay Rowdies writhing in two different places on the field here. Here is a yellow card for Senino for that sort of retaliatory foul on Van der Veen.
Okay, a look from the end zone.
Senino pushes the ball too far ahead, lets it go, and Van der Veen sees his chance, goes in, Senino keeps going, and there is the foot right over the ball. Foot went over the ball right onto Van der Veen's right leg. Now this business of over the ball is considered a very bad foul but among soccer players. There goes Senino's foot right over the ball, right onto Van der Veen's leg.
Okay, so the referee keeping the game very much under control. His name is Werner Winseman. He has been selected twice for World Cup referee, and he's doing a good job. There he is. Again, he's wearing a red shirt today. You'll see that very seldom in the game of soccer, and here at our first game you see it. The reason that it is today is because of the dark uniforms here of the New York Cosmos. They've been getting them confused with the officials this year. And Chinaglia is having his own problems with the officials at the moment. So we had two Tampa Bay men down on the field at the same time. Arsene Auguste, number 4, the defender, and Van der Veen, number 5, the midfielder. But now we're up, ready to go.
A rather obvious pushing foul from Reisbergen on Fabiani there, which the referee did not call. Wait for play to go on there.
Okay, Mike Connell with the ball for Tampa Bay now. He's spirited defender. Moving across field. Fabiani, the forward, taking a long solo run down. Oh, that was Peter Gorman. John Gorman, excuse me.
Yeah, even more remarkable, a fullback. Now look at the distance he's run. He's run about 110 yards on that, and he's got to go all the way back to take over his defensive position again.
Coming up next over most of these ABC stations, ABC's Wide World of Sports. We've got Ron Lyle against Scott Ledoux today. Quite an afternoon. We'll look at Reisbergen, the lone Cosmo.
Yeah, again, a defender coming all the way up. Beautiful ball. Chinaglia had dropped back into midfield. A beautiful long ball to Chewett. Chewett ran in, pushed that centre across, and the man coming through to collect it was not a forward. It was Reisbergen, the defender, but he was sort of hustled off the ball.
29 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the game. It's tied up at 2-2. The first confrontation of the teams that played in the Soccer Bowl last year. Their first meeting in 1979, and there goes Van der Veen. Van der Veen, the Dutchman, with the ball. Has he got somebody? Maybe. Missed Marsh, but here's Fabiani. Fabiani, the Argentine, with the ball. Down he goes.
The referee is making motions which suggest
could be a penalty kick.
No, the referee has waved play on. The referee looked as though he was about to jump into the swimming pool. That means that he considers that a dive. He's pushing forward doing sort of swimming motions.
Okay, had he called a foul there, it would have been a penalty kick because it occurred in the penalty zone. We could see that at any time. We'll explain to you more fully when it happens. What an action game this is. There's young McLeod, Wes McLeod from Canada. By himself. Getting it across, however, to Rodney Marsh, number 10. Marsh to Barilic, who scored in the first half, the Yugoslav. Back to Marsh again. Marsh, number 10, with the ball, tried a shot, blocked. Now McLeod. Being ridden very closely, and the ball taken away by Terry Garbutt.
Well, there's a lot of physical contact there, but I suspect it was all fair.
And here come the Rowdies again. Shot fired by Connell, and Yassin almost lost it.
Again, Yassin not holding on to the ball too well this afternoon. And again, you'll notice that the first player to that ball when it came loose was not, as it should have been, a Cosmos defender.
Here it is, and watch how Fabiani almost gets in there to get that ball. Look.
First player coming in.
Cutting across Fabiani in the white, and Yassin beating him to it. But just. It's 2-2 in a very physical and a very exciting game. There's going to be a direct kick for Cosmos now. As the referee calls a timeout. He's the only man that can do that. It's 2-2 in Tampa.
Five mid-engine cars.
We're back again at Tampa. Jim McKay with Paul Gardner here. Vern Lundquist on the sidelines. Pelé was with us at halftime. The score 2-2, Rowdies and Cosmos, and it's going to be an indirect free kick. That means that they cannot kick directly at the goal. The wall goes up anyway, because he could pass it 1 inch if he wanted to a teammate. There it is. Bouncing off the wall, but Cosmos still have it. Rick Davis. Perry Vanderbeck has come into the game for Tampa Bay, replacing Arsene Auguste. 3 substitutes are allowed in the North American Soccer League, and 3 only. And when you go out, you cannot come back in again. Now Tampa Bay with the ball. All tied up at 2-2, we said. 26 minutes, 15 seconds left, and here they come. Wes McLeod with the ball. He's 21 years old and so talented. Into the middle, but there's nobody there. Looks like he thought there would have been.
Well, there should have been. I think he was absolutely right, but he simply outpaced everybody. Look how disappointed he is, because that was a lovely run. He beat Garbutt, and he got the ball right across the middle of the Cosmos goal. Not a soul in a white uniform anywhere near it.
By the way, Wes McLeod is 21 years old. He looks about 17. Vern Lundquist with Arsene Auguste, the injured man, on the sideline. Just a moment, though, Vern. Excuse me. Here comes Senino on one of his favorite solo runs. And as so often is the case, it comes to an unproductive end. Okay, Vern.
Okay, Jim, we've got Arsene Auguste who had to come out. I guess the groin pull caused the problem.
Yeah, just for the groin. That's bad. I'm very unlucky. And I was playing so well over there, you know, really.
It's getting a little nasty out there, Arsene.
Yeah, because the game is tight. None of us want to lose the game. That's the problem. We both rival. We don't want to lose. I think we're going to win the game. We just missed an opportunity right now. I think it should have been a goal. Really.
Get healthy. We'll go back to Jim.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Arsene Auguste of Haiti and the Tampa Bay Cosmos out of the game. We'll be back with... We're back again live in Tampa, Florida. A hot, muggy Florida afternoon. The score 2-2. The Rowdies and the Cosmos in possibly the most exciting North American Soccer League game so far this year. We haven't seen them all, that's for sure, but this would certainly rank high, considering particularly the importance of the game. Steve Wegerle, number 7, with the ball for Tampa Bay. They're in white, who just joined us, with the green and yellow sleeves. The Cosmos of New York, champions of North America, in dark blue with the yellow numbers. Wide World of Sports coming up right after this. The fight. We have Ron Lyle against Scott Ledoux. Report on the Indianapolis 500 time trials. It was raining earlier today, but they said it was going to clear. I don't know whether it has or not from here. And we're going to see Nadia Comaneci, European gymnastics from Copenhagen. So stay tuned for that one. Meanwhile, the game goes on live, and here we are with Tampa Bay on the attack. Fabiani's in the middle, but they couldn't get it to him.
Another near escape for the Cosmos. I'm just wondering, Jim, with the heat we've got down there, with the tremendous pace this game is being played at, I think we can expect to see a few more errors.
Dennis Stewart by himself. Can he get a shot? He may yet. He may yet. Into the middle, though, to Chinaglia, and he missed it. Ricky Davis. Off the goalie. Off Pilecki.
Chinaglia is down in the area, still lying down there.
Yes, he is.
He did a tremendous stretch to get to that ball. He fanned on it, and he may well have pulled something there. That was a very dangerous sort of move, running at full speed, stretching like that.
That could be very, very bad news for the New York Cosmos, the man who leads the league in scoring and in goals.
Chinaglia is the most durable player on the team, I think.
Okay, there's Stewart with the ball, number 7.
Pulling it inside, then outside Mike Connolly. Finally, practically gets the ball kicked away, but he gets it back.
There goes Giorgio.
Running in, and you'll see a stretch and then a sort of sliding halt on the ground. Two of the worst things that can happen to you, a sudden start, a sudden stop.
One other look at it as Stewart does some of his patented footwork, getting around Mike Connolly.
Scoops the ball away, but he doesn't go far enough. Stewart picks it up again. Sees Chinaglia. There's Chinaglia running in. There's his stretch, and he tries to stop himself.
I think that's happened to us all when we're running somewhere and have to make a
ball,
quick
and the goalkeeper just tips it ground.
Look from up high again.
He misses and sort of jams his foot in the turf, but he's up again. All right.
Okay, this is the first of 9 games. There's Giorgio on his feet. Our next one comes up in the month of June. Please make a note if you have a little calendar beat, because we're not on every week. It's going to be the Vancouver Whitecaps at the Minnesota Kicks, 2, again, of the best teams in the league, on Sunday, not Saturday, on Sunday, June 10th. June 10th, our next game, Vancouver at Minnesota. They draw very well out there, probably a crowd of 40,000. The corner kick by Rick Davis goes way over the goal and over the end line.
Ricky Davis.
So it's 2-2, Rowdies and Cosmos. 23 minutes left.
Here's to good friends.
Here, we told you we might miss one from time to time. We did, but we've got it for you. Here's what happened just a matter of seconds ago. Peter Barelich, number 15. There he is, kicking it left-footed into the corner of the goal.
This is Rodney Marsh again, pulling the ball away from defenders. A lovely cross over everybody except that man there, Barelich. Pulls it down, and a beautifully, finely angled shot. Yassine coming out, couldn't stop it.
One more time now, Marsh.
Rodney Marsh again, left-footed over everybody. Barelich pulls it down. Yassine goes for it. Look how close that ball was to missing, right along the line there. Beautifully angled shot. You'll see On the left of your screen there, see Barrett's pulling himself away from everybody. Now he goes for the ball. Down comes the ball. Left-footed shot. Yassine Alba. A beautifully, perfectly angled shot. 3-2 to the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
And there is the man who scored it, Peter Baralic of Zagreb, Yugoslavia, his second goal of the day. It's the home team, the Rowdies 3 and the Cosmos 2. A long way to go. Just under 21 minutes left in the game. Here come the Cosmos on the attack. And it's Carlos Alberto getting into the middle, and it was just by Chinaglia, but it's going to be a corner kick for the Cosmos.
Chinaglia having a rather unfortunate time right in the middle of the goal area there, because that's the second ball that's come across that he's completely failed to make contact with.
Okay, Bogicevic with the corner kick for the Cosmos. They trail now by 3-2. They haven't lost a game in the league all year. And there's Garbutt taking a shot. Batted away by Van der Veen, and that hit the goalpost on the top. That was Rick Davis, the American, nearly scoring.
Tremendous shot from Ricky Davis. That was all of 25 to 28 yards out on the volley.
Rick Davis, only 20 years old, with a great future here.
All resulting from this corner of Bogicevic. Stewart not heading towards goal, heading back. Garbutt with a first-time volley blocked by a defender, and there's that first time underneath the crossbar, in fact, came down. My word, that was a close shave for Tampa, and their defense, incidentally, is not looking too steady at the moment either. A lot of gaps in both defenses.
So again, a name to remember for the future and for the present, Rick Davis, 20 years old, of the United States. Intercepted by Cosmos Carlos Alberto. Again, the Rowdies lead by 3-2 with just under 20 minutes left in the game. Continuous action in soccer. Hard shoulder charge by Marsh. That is legitimate. Now here come the Cosmos against Nino. Oh, that's Rick Davis with the ball. Getting it to Stewart. Stewart into the middle to Chinaglia. Chinaglia trying to turn his man, but he couldn't do it.
Chinaglia not showing many signs of injury there. He withstood a hefty challenge. He still had the ball under control. It just pushed away from him at the last moment.
An extremely hot and muggy afternoon. Must take its toll even on these beautifully conditioned athletes. An hour and a half of playing time. Remember, no timeouts and only a 12-minute halftime. And the interception there by Rijsbergen, defender from Holland for the Netherlands. Dennis Stewart, number 7, goes down. There is a whistle, and I think that might be a direct kick. Yes, it's going to be a direct kick for the Cosmos. Could be dangerous. Vern, do you have a quick report on the injury to Chinaglia?
Yes, Jim. He's got a slight groin pull on the right side, and it may hamper him. It may cost the Cosmos. You might keep your eye. You can see he's limping just a little bit right now.
Okay. It's going to be a direct kick. He can kick it for the goal if he wants, and that's Bogi taking that kick. Bogicevic.
A lot of players in that wall there.
Yeah, very, very long and sturdy wall for Tampa Bay, and he got a shot past him, but it was picked off by Belek.
Well, that, of course, is what the wall is designed to do. The wall is designed to block off one half of the goal. Now, he's got to shoot to the right. There he goes, to the right, but that is exactly what the goalkeeper wants, because that's the part of the goal that he's covering. So he got down, and he smothered that ball well, and he held on. He didn't let it bounce out. Good save by Bilecki.
Eddie Fermani, the coach of the Cosmos, not too happy right now. Shouting instructions. Technically, you're not supposed to do that, right? But everybody does.
All the coaches I spoke to say, oh, yeah, we all shout. And I say, well, what effect does it have? And they usually say, well, none, because nobody hears me.
That's exactly right. Okay, Tampa Bay on the attack. They lead by 3-2. Another goal for them would make it awfully tough for the Cosmos to come back. A big day in your home country of England, Paul. The FA Cup final for the Soccer Championship of England, and Arsenal defeated Manchester United today by a score of 3-2. Congratulations to the men from the north of London. Now a whistle. That's going to be an indirect
free kick for Tampa. And a dangerous position, though, Jim. This may be indirect. That sounds somehow or other as though it's not as important as a direct kick. But this is a dangerous position for any sort of kick.
Again, the lead goal was scored by Baralic.
You see some elbowing going on here. This is Carlos Alberto. There's an elbow. Oh, my goodness me, is there an elbow there, right in Fabiana's face. The referee, though, actually has not called an elbow. He's called obstruction, which is why it's an indirect free kick and not a direct one.
Okay, this will be Rodney Marsh apparently going to take it, but sometimes they switch. They have sort of organized plays almost on the indirect free kick. And there it is being knocked away by Rijsbergen, the blonde Dutchman, for Cosmos. Chinaglia at an unaccustomed place, bringing the ball upfield. That's Garbutt, evading his man nicely. Dennis Stewart, crossfield to Rick Davis.
There's two Americans facing each other there. Rick Davis facing Perry Van der Beek.
Yes, Van der Beek, only 18 years old, came into the game as a substitute for Tampa Bay. Now Stewart. Moving it to Chinaglia, and a whistle.
offside call on Chinaglia. The linesman's flag went up the instant that pass was made. A good call and a very decisive call by the linesman. No arguing, no questions about that one at all.
Dallas Tornado this afternoon are playing Chicago, and the score is 0-0 still early in the first half. Chicago Sting against the Dallas Tornado. This is Gordon Jago, the coach of the Tampa Bay Rowdies. A very enthusiastic man. I was noticing in practice yesterday morning when they were out here about 9 o'clock. He's very much like a high school or a college coach, exhorting his men.
He looks almost like a professor there with his glasses and sort of...
And a little interplay there between Fabiani and Bobby Smith. Here are games later today: Minnesota at Los Angeles, San Jose at Seattle, New England at California, Detroit at Atlanta, Memphis at Tulsa, Toronto at Fort Lauderdale, not far from here, and Washington, Philadelphia. If you live in those cities, once you go out and see North American Soccer League action, it's very, very good. And this game isn't coming, it's here. We're going to be with it all summer on ABC.
Steve Wegerle's speed. He ran a long way back. Bogicevic had the ball, was looking around to see what he could do with it. Just as he made up his mind, it wasn't there anymore. Wegerle took it away from him.
Hard to believe it's been raining all day out in Indianapolis, where right now they're drying off the track, hoping to resume the time trials, which we'll be seeing, if so, on Wide World of Sports later. Okay, Chinaglia again. Chinaglia now being marked, at least for the moment, by Vanderbeck.
Yeah,
the youngster.
That's a strange coupling, but of course Chinaglia is dropping very deep. You don't expect to see a centre forward playing this deep here.
Yep. Why do you think he's doing that?
Well, it may be a result of the injury. It also may be, the weather is bound to be a factor here. This game has been played at a tremendous pace, and the heat has got to start telling.
Okay, there's the steal. Tampa Bay on the move. That was John Gorman getting it across to Rodney Marsh. Marsh with the ball under control now. They lead by 3-2. Another one, as we said. Put him in a very strong position, but Bobby Smith knocked it away. Gave it to Santiago Formosa.
Bobby Smith and Rodney Marsh tangling in the penalty area after the ball had gone away there. We have to continue to watch this battle between these two.
Okay, Cosmos trying to get back in the soccer game. Not looking too organized at the moment. And young Vanderbeck getting into Fabiani, the striker, the middle forward. He's up in midfield right now and in unfamiliar territory, apparently.
Yeah, well, he's dropping back like Chinaglia. But that's been an interesting battle all afternoon between Reisberg and the blonde Dutchman and Oscar Fabiani, the Argentine. About equal, I would say.
Fascinating, these men coming from all over the world to play in this league. And just as interesting to watch the young Americans slowly but surely making their way into the lineups. Not as stars yet, but as competent players. Vanderbeck, one example. Rick Davis, another today. Bobby Smith playing a good defensive game from Trenton, New Jersey for the Cosmos. And here comes Tampa. There you see the unofficial time, 13 minutes, 20 seconds left in the game. The home team ahead, 3-2. They lead their division. The Cosmos lead their division, but the Cosmos are undefeated and would like to stay that way. Steve Wegerle now, number 7, the South African.
Well, just flagrantly obstructed there by Formosa. Formosa, I'm sure, he's just smiling to himself. He's not going to argue about that one.
Indirect free kick.
Wegerle pulled the ball past him to his left, tried to go around the other side, and Formosa just got in his way. Here's Wegerle going. He's going to run the ball straight at him, and at the last minute he's going to pull the ball. There goes the ball, and Wegerle trying to chase it. Formosa just running right in front of him. No question.
The ball into the center now from Rodney Marsh. And that's John Gorman booting him way wide.
In fact, that's so wide, the ball isn't even... Is it going to go out? It's rolling. No, it doesn't go out. The ball is still in play. It nearly went for a throw-in, that one.
By the way, the ball in soccer is not out of bounds until the entire ball has passed over the entire line. Exactly the opposite of, let's say, American football, where as soon as any part of the ball touches the line, it's out of bounds. Here comes Rodney Marsh for Tampa Bay. Defended by Bobby Smith. There's Bogicevic getting in there. Very strong contact, but they were hard shoulder charges. The ball, and that's legal.
Those legs sort of pushed out so wide that nobody can get to his body even. His leg is so wide. Tremendously strong man, Bogicevic.
There is Bogicevic with the ball. And here comes Rick Davis for the Cosmos. They trail 3-2. Just under 12 minutes left. Intercepted by Perry Vanderbeck. At age 18, remember, playing big league soccer. Vanderbeck, slender young American, 5'10", 150 pounds. Let's go down to the sidelines for Bird and Coach Jago.
Jim, we're standing here with Gordon Jago. Gordon, you've got 11:32 to go. Will 3 be enough?
It's going to be a long 11 minutes, but with this team, you can never count it, no. We really need another one now to finish them off.
No, there's no chance you're going to pull back.
No way. We've got to keep the ball. And you can see with this team how quick they are on the counter. And it has to be very, very tight. And this is the most vulnerable time. They're tired, all 22 players. But I tell you this, they've given every viewer a tremendous first match for the season for ABC.
Right. And we appreciate it, Gordon. Jim?
Thank you.
Okay, a little screaming and hollering on the playing field there because a yellow card was given to Wim Rijsbergen of the Cosmos. That's a warning, in other words.
Yes,
so there it is.
But you see, this is not the first time this has happened. He's been clattering into Fabiani from behind and almost ignoring the ball.
And here is the official attendance, 40,701. Can you imagine that at an American soccer game even 5 or 6 years ago?
No.
There is Rijsbergen, the Dutchman, who got a yellow card earlier this year. He got a red card, was thrown out of the game and banned for the next home game. If he gets another yellow card today, he'll be out of the game for today. A red, of course, as we said, carries the extra game penalty. Gary Etherington, a substitute for the Cosmos, replacing Chinaglia. Okay, Gary Etherington, young American forward, into the game for the Cosmos. They trail 3-2.
Look at the poise of that young Canadian midfield, McLeod. Maintaining possession of the ball 11 minutes ago, slowing the pace of the game down, keeping the Cosmos away from the ball. In fact, they're still doing it now. This is sort of version of keep ball here.
Well, it has a bit of the look.
Passes.
Has a bit of the look of especially the University of North Carolina basketball team, the old four corners offense.
Well, it does, but of course it's not so easy to do in soccer. An opponent can steal this away. 24-14 on shots. Well, I think that's a fair reflection of the way that the Rowdies have dominated this game offensively.
Boy, this would really set up some rematch later in the season should the Rowdies beat the Cosmos when the Rowdies come to the stadium in the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Sounds like another sellout for that one. Incidentally, the Cosmos have another important game, although not in a league game, coming up next Wednesday night. They're playing Coventry City in the Meadowlands in New Jersey, and that team features Steve Hunt, who used to play with the Cosmos. But now, here we have Tampa Bay on the attack. Wes McLeod with the shot. Wide.
Well, another very good opportunity. Look at Wes McLeod. He's smiling, but he's very upset with that. He thinks he should have had a goal there.
We'll be back. The score remains the same, 3-2. The Rowdies of Tampa Bay leading the Cosmos, the champions of the league, the undefeated champions of the North American Soccer League so far this year. If you've just joined us, it's the Cosmos in blue with the yellow numbers, Tampa Bay in the white with the green and yellow sleeves. Wide World of Sports coming up next over most of these ABC stations. Looks like we're going to run over. We will, of course, carry the game to its conclusion, whatever that is, but then immediately go to Wide World. We have a live fight, Scott Ledoux against Ron Lyle. Indianapolis time trials and Nadia Comaneci. Is that enough for one day? John Gorman with the ball now, the Scottish defender for Tampa Bay.
And you notice this game is, even against what Gordon Jago wants, this game is being slowed down by Tampa. And I think this is a natural reaction to being one goal up, to being about 8 minutes or whatever it is away from the end of the game. And there's tremendous heat and a tremendous pace that this game has been played at.
There's actually 8 minutes and 10 seconds unofficially left in the game. What can the Cosmos do to get the ball?
Well, they may even have to foul. I mean, you've got to go after the ball. It's the same as in basketball. You've got to get the ball. If you haven't got the ball, you can't score.
Out in Chicago, there are 24 minutes left in the first half, and it's still 0-0 Dallas in Chicago. Fabiani with the ball for Tampa Bay. Using time, kicks it way across the field. Van de Beek back into the middle there. Schwegerle. Oh, wild shot.
Not a bad effort, really. He was running one way, he controlled not an easy pass, and he turned, and the shot ended up being wild. But I mean, he really got a lot of that ball. You heard the thump all the way up here.
Okay, looks like Kevin Egan may come into the game for the Cosmos. Probably replace Santiago for most of this. Alberto. And we have a pause in the action just for the substitute, I think. Santiago Formosa going off the field.
Kevin Egan coming on. I see Wes McLeod lying on the ground here. Rodney Marsh is trying to call the referee's attention to him. There's Wes McLeod. He's doing something to his left leg there.
Kevin Egan, who's just come into the game, by the way, for the Cosmos, used to play for Tampa Bay for Eddie Fermani. Fermani used to be the coach here before he came to New York. The score, the Rowdies 3 and the Cosmos 2. We're back again, and Wes McLeod, the young Canadian, is obviously all right. Very appealing youngster.
Yeah, he has
nice smile.
Yeah, lovely bashful sort of smile. He unrolled what I would conservatively estimate to be about 740 yards of tape off his left leg, and he's got both his socks rolled down now. This must be cramps, and I think other players are going to be affected by this.
Around the country, a few stations may just have joined us. We can report that this is soccer, the North American Soccer League fashion. This is Jim McKay with Paul Gardner. We're near the end of a most exciting game. With 7 minutes and 10 seconds left, the Tampa Bay Rowdies lead the Cosmos, the champions of the North American League, by a score of 3-2. The Cosmos undefeated so far this year. If they win this game, it would be a record for fast start. And down went Rodney Marsh.
Look at him shaking his head. He's looking up, wondering where he is. That was an example of what you might call somewhat enthusiastic play by Bobby Smith. He went up and he climbed all over his back there. See, Rodney Marsh thinks he has this ball all to himself. It bounces in front of him. Bobby Smith, what would you say he's trying to do there?
I would say he's trying to be all over him. Simple as that.
He succeeded. Rodney Marsh shaking his head, but he's up again.
This is a game in which the Cosmos took the lead about 2/3 of the way through the first half on a goal by Giorgio Chinaglia. But then late in the first half, it was Tampa Bay tying it up on a goal by Peter Barelich, and then going ahead just a matter of seconds later on a goal by Oscar Fabiani. It was 2-1 halftime for the home Tampa Bay Rowdies. Then, however, the Cosmos tied it up on another goal by Chinaglia. Then the Rowdies went ahead on another goal by Barelich. 2 goals for Barelich, 2 for Chinaglia today.
The scoring's been well orchestrated. I think if you sat down and wrote a script for a soccer game, you'd come up with scoring in just about that timing and those proportions.
Okay, the Cosmos trying to get possession of that ball, and they have it at the moment in the blue, but now they lose it again. Peter Barelich once more, very much in this game all day long.
I think one thing we should say that the Cosmos are definitely missing in midfield, particularly at this crucial stage of the game, is the masterful control and the coolness of Beckenbauer. He's a big loss to them in midfield.
Franz Beckenbauer out injured. He should be back in a week or two. He's been out about 3 weeks now. Here comes Rick Davis. Still on the ball, but down he goes. A whistle.
Well,
and it's going to be
perfectly right
a direct free kick. Excuse me.
That was a bad foul, a bad tackle, a very late tackle indeed by Maniszewski.
Ricky Davis.
See, Davis gets the ball. He gets it past Van der Beek there. Now in here comes Andruszewski. Now you watch, this ball is played by Davis and the tackle is late, and Davis inevitably has his legs carved out from under him. Free kick, New York Cosmos.
Okay, you can score on a direct free kick. Again, if you've just joined us, you can shoot for goal if you want to. On an indirect free kick, you can't. But for the more serious fouls, it is a direct free kick. That was into the middle, but headed away by Mike Connell.
You saw just now the referee pushing players back. Those players are supposed to be 10 yards away from the ball.
And again, a whistle. Offside call. Yeah, it's an offside call against the Cosmos. They trail by 3-2. This is a very, very difficult game to referee, particularly when you consider that one man and one alone is in charge, trying to keep track of 22 players. Let's see, he's called for time now. I think it's a substitute. Yeah,
this is Farouk Qureshi. Now, Farouk Qureshi was, in fact, a #1 draft choice three or 4 years ago. Barelich, the hero of the game so far, is coming out. And this youngster who learned his soccer in England, he came from Iran originally, but went to college at only on to State College and only on to New York here, has come into the game.
Now, should Barelich be needed again? In other words, should the Cosmos tie it up, Barelich cannot come back into the game.
Nope, that's his soccer for the afternoon. Go.
3 substitutes allowed in the North American League for each team, and that's it. Okay. Some rollicking music on the PA you may hear in the background. They're celebrating already in Tampa Bay, but there's a long way to go. Well, not a long way. There's just under 4 minutes now. That's certainly long enough.
Well, Gordon Jago said 11 minutes was going to be long. I bet these last 4 minutes are going to seem like half an hour to him.
Sure. These teams have met 10 times in their history. Cosmos have won 6, Tampa Bay 4. So this would make it 6-5 and narrow that margin. The first really classic rivalry that the North American Soccer League has developed, and this game certainly will advance that reputation of the meetings.
Absolutely, and a lot of that rivalry, of course, has to do with the coach. You noticed at the beginning of the game, Jim, when Eddie Famani was introduced, there was a crescendo of boos all around this ground. He used to coach here, and he left to coach New York. According to the Tampa fans, he walked out of it.
So he's coached both of these teams, and in fact was on the winning side in 8 of the 9 games he coached between them, but the wins were for different teams, you know, at various times. Anyway, here come the Cosmos. Carlos Alberto got it into the middle there for a moment. Still no concerted or organized looking attack for the champions.
I think it's getting scrappier and scrappier as it goes on for both teams, and again, this is a question of tiredness. There you saw 4 players go for a ball. Not one of them really got to it at all.
And if you would please make a note, if you like this one, this could be a great one too. On Sunday, June 10th, that's a while, so you should make a note of it for us. And here is the direct free kick going wide. 3-2 still, Rowdies leaving. Going to be a corner kick for the Cosmos. Now, here's a good opportunity, and there is a disconsolate Eddie Fermani, Cosmos coach, on the bench. He did not, Mourinho did not come down. There is controversy apparently between the two men, although Fermani will not admit that. He says it's just an injury that has kept Mourinho at home. But others think otherwise. Didn't you say Mourinho had told a Brazilian friend of yours he didn't think he was going to be played?
No, Mourinho told a Brazilian friend that he was told he wasn't going to play, and he said he wasn't going to come down just to be a spectator.
Well, Eddie Fermani
denied that.
Yeah, right. Okay, 2 minutes to go now. Well, there's no 2-minute warnings, nothing like that to stop the game in soccer. They just keep going.
Although, of course, the goalkeeper here is not particularly anxious to put that ball back into play. He's relaxing considerably over that.
And again a whistle. And the ball is given to the Cosmos.
Now, that's another chapter in the Reisberg and Fabiani duel. This time it was Fabiani who elbowed Reisberg, so it's New York who get the free kick.
Unofficially, 1 minute and 35 seconds remaining. Cosmos on the attack in the blue. They trail 3-2. Stewart losing the ball. Taken away by Andrzejewski, the new defender, just in from England to Tampa Bay. Cosmos winning streak on the line. They've won 7 and lost none so far this season. But they trail again, 3-2, Tampa Bay. As you said, Tampa Bay in no hurry to put the ball in play, although they must keep moving.
I think it was a clear sign of how tired these players must be. Andrzejewski walking back very slowly to take that kick, just fell flat on his face. I think his legs turned to jelly.
Coming up on 1 minute of unofficial time remaining. Rick Davis with the ball. If they're going to do it, they must do it now. They could lose that out of bounds, but no, they don't. Field 68 yards wide here is Tampa, by the way. Not quite as wide as many soccer fields are. It's all the width they have. Here come the Cosmos. The ball back out to Terry Garbutt, the midfielder. Garbutt on his own, going down in the corner, but it's knocked out of bounds, I believe, by John Gorman of Tampa. There should be a throw-in for Cosmos, and it will be. 37 seconds unofficially. Can they get anything going? Let's see what they call that one.
Yeah, they're going to call it a goal kick.
Goal kick for Tampa, and that could do it. Let's see if they can keep control here. 25 seconds. Garbutt has not been in a losing lineup for the Cosmos in 27 games. This will be the first game in which he's played or which he's lost.
All these streaks come to an end sooner or later, and I don't think they can grumble about this result.
The crowd counting it down. They're counting 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Rowdies have done it. They've beaten the champions. Tampa Bay 3, the Cosmos 2 in a most exciting North American Soccer League game. I'm Jim McKay with Paul Gardner and Pelé and Vern Lundquist, and look at the celebration. The people who dress in green and yellow for their team, for the Rowdies, have come more than 40,000 strong, and they've gotten a victory. There's Rodney Marsh, number 10. We'll be back.